few stacks of wool. That looks kind of like sheer cliffs. I'm do a wee bit of digging and see if Cuppan theory's right. That looks like some sheer, really high cliffs to me. I am a Sith and I'm digging a hole. Very scary hole. Very scary hole. Oh. Oh dear. Oh dear. What am I doing? What am I doing? Hello there. Sithbelle here with another episode of Sithbelle Survives. And, as you can see, I'm gonna do my best to survive. We are in an ancient city. Quite a beautiful one in the middle of a lush cave, if I might add. But we are 3 shrieks away from spawning in a warden. I want Swift Sneak, and I want smithing templates. And then we can, as I like to say, GT the FO. Wish me luck. I'm gonna go find a spot where I can set up a camp, and we're gonna see if we can conquer this bad boy. We're putting down our handy dandy bed here because I have a feeling we're gonna die. We're gonna put down our ender chest there. Gonna get out a shulker, put all of our stuff away, and I am gonna put my shovel and my shears. Oh, that scared me. My cat is going to howl. Oh, I need to take cords of that. $5.98, $1.36. I want to be heading southeast from here. We're just gonna cover these up just a little bit. I have only had the pleasure of dealing with these once, and it did not go well. Okay, time to see how well I did. Well, those are quite the hose there. Not the music disc I was looking for. Blast protection. But Swift Sneak 1. Ooh. And soul torches. I'll take soul torches. I know one thing, it's that I did not bring enough wool. There's no way. Oh. Oh. My life just flashed before my eyes. Luckily that one seems protected. There's a geode here. Cool. Who came up with this idea at Mojang? It's like, you know what would be awesome? Just scaring the pants out of our player. Can you imagine the gravel falling, waking up the warden and him being just like, what? I'm sure by the time I go through like 20 of these, I'll be like, this is boring. But right now, I'm terrified. Ooh, Swiss Neat 2? Piercing 2. There's a binding you can keep. 'Twas a dark and stormy night. And Sithbelle had the bright idea. Yeah, why don't we just go into an ancient city? Won't be a big deal. Oh no. Ooh, Swift Needs 2 again. Alright, Alright, so that was one. Uh-oh. Oh, that's two. Oh dear. Oh. Yep, beep, 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 beep. Oh dear. Oh. Oh. This is terrifying. Shoot, darn. You know, when they're not chasing you and trying to kill you, they're pretty derpy looking. Do. I'm a big scary warden. Just gonna try and tool around and try to kill stuff. There's another tattletale over here. Two enchanted golden apples. Alright then. Oh dear. Oh, that's not good. Let's just go over here for a little bit. We got other side, yes. Go back in the hole. Alright, sweet. Oh, there's the third one. I forgot about the third one. Okay, we're finally safe. And I've already looted this one. Awesome. All of that for nothing. Oh, he comes fast. He comes fast. He comes really, really fast. Okay, I think that's the city looted. So, I go gather up my stuff and get out of here. Looks like we gotta do another one. So, after that end city, got a decent amount of loot, and we got the most important thing, which is Swift Sneak 3, which will be able to upgrade our pants. But you need a better name than that, if I'm honest with you. I'll probably rename them. Don't know what to, but I'll rename them. And we also got the other side disc, which is a great song. No lie. Sweet. Now what I should do next is work on the base a little bit. I need to terraform the outside so it looks like cliffs. But I still don't have all the smithing templates, which means my armor is undecorated, and I just can't let that stand. So, I think I'm going to go on another adventure instead. It's my series, and I get to do what I want. If you don't like it, leave a comment. But you won't. I bet you won't. Welcome to the world, Sneaky Pants. Hello. I do believe I know what I'm doing for the next couple of hours. I'll give you a loot count when I'm done. Another trail run cleared out. Here's all the bricks and the whatnot. Lots of stone and dirt. Not as much gravel because I wasn't using a silk touch. Lots of flint and various job blocks. Lots of junk. And a good amount of treasure this time, although not as many sherds. Okay, now let's focus on what we were actually out here for, which was not in cities, ancient cities. Yes! Oh man. Now I need the other one, and we're good to go. Hi there! Editor Sithbelle here. I'm popping in the middle of editing to tell you that I'm not going to be showing you the 4+ hours of ancient city grinding that I did, because, well, it's basically more of the same of me running screaming from wardens and waiting a bunch and finding a whole bunch of gear. That clip you just watched was actually from the 3rd ancient city. I went to one more after that and still didn't find silence, so I'm just going to give up on that for now and try and find that one a bit later. There are plenty of other trims, and I've been starting to do some shopping around, and I think that I don't need silence at the moment, so we're just going to move on with building and showing off the fun loot. Okay, 4 ancient cities, I believe, and a trail ruins later, and a few more motion ruins, and we got a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of stuff. Two shulkers of books. We got 5 of the ward armor trim. Unfortunately, we didn't get any of the silence armor trim, so that means we're going to have to go back out there, because that is a rare boy, and I'm ancient city'd out. I need to do something else for a bit. I got a whole bunch of good stuff there. That actually doesn't count. I brought that with me. Lots of building blocks. So, the good news is I'm actually feeling kind of in a building mood. And one of the things that I want to tackle is this cliff right here. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it could be a lot better, and I kind of want to do like washed out rocks so that there's actually like a bit of a dip and some tide pools. And I think I want to use deep slate, which is going to be fun to deal with. So I need to get mining, because I have a feeling it's going to take me at least a shulker, if not more. Some coarse dirt and all that good stuff, and we're just going to be winging it and hoping for the best. So, as always, wish me luck. Hi there, voiceover Sithbelle here. So, I've been watching a lot of Flip videos lately, and one of the things that he did in a hardcore series was he created these seaside cliffs that looked like they had been eroded away by the waves, and he created some cool little tide pools in them, and I wanted to kind of recreate that for this island because I think that it would go very well. So I removed all the gravel, which was this side was the easy part, and I started replacing them with a bit of tide pools. And I kind of flip back and forth on this, so the explanations might get a little wonky. And once I kind of got a general idea of how I wanted it to look, I started working on the cliff itself. It took a couple of tries to get it to something that I was happy with and find a groove, but eventually I did start to get that nice curve that I wanted, so it looked like it had been eroding away bit by bit. Once I got kind of that figured out, I started adding a bit more tide pools in, and I actually used mangrove roots to represent, kind of dried kelp and seaweed that had clumped up on the tide pools, because I think it looks better than the actual dried kelp would. After that, I continued to clear stuff away, and then I started working on the cliff proper. I will say that I didn't do the entire island because the back half and the other little island that it's attached to, I don't entirely know what I want to do on there yet. So I'm waiting to see what that ends up being before I go any further on that. So I kind of just went to the staircase and stopped right there, maybe a little bit further back. But once I got that figured out, uh, came in and started working on the tide pools a lot more. Had some drowns come and say hello, and ended up getting yet another trident. So that brings our count up to three. I might actually have to enchant some of those at some point. And then I started trying to replace the ground with more deep slate. And then I started work on this side, and this is where my hatred of gravel really came in. Because I wanted to kind of switch over from it being that dip out or dip into the cliffside and have it more be a bit of a jut out, which we'll get to in a second. I also wanted to kind of keep the kind of sheer cliffiness of it so that there's not as many tide pools because I kind of wanted to have different depths and elevations throughout the entire island. Ah, here's the part where I was actually clearing out the or replacing everything with deep slate. I knew it was in here somewhere. So I tried to go as deep as I can, but this water is incredibly deep, and that's a lot of blocks. And I gave up at some point and just was like, all right, from this line, we're good. Okay, here comes the jetty outy bit. I like saying jetty outy. So I worked on creating, you know, a transition from it being that eroded inner cliff to the kind of stick up, not outer cliff, I guess. I don't know. But this is where my hatred of gravel really came into play. Because every time I tried to place one block, I ended up having to clear out 3 or 4 gravel blocks because, gravity blocks and all, they like to fall. So this side actually took way longer than the rest of all of that simply because I had to keep clearing out gravel. And here's where you can see that I'm starting to create like the rocks that stick up and all that fun stuff. It took me a couple of tries to get something that I was happy with. At first it was way too straight up and down, and I wasn't really a big fan, so I came in and made some adjustments and tweaks and tried to bring in some like little erosion points and make it more interesting as a general rule. But I also tried to follow the landscape itself and not stray too far from it because I actually really like the shape of this side of the island. And so I also added some coarse dirt in just to kind of give it a bit of interest. And then I got bored and decided to come back over on this side and do the other side of the staircase because I realized that it was floating and I wanted to kind of give it some support so that it wouldn't look like that. Um, so at this point, I was kind of old hatted this style, so I just kind of quickly blazed through that, added a couple more tide pools, and then I was ready for to move on to the top. I hope you enjoyed that time lapse a bit. I haven't had a chance to do the actual top of it yet, but we now have some seaside cliffs that I think I want to keep tweaking in between episodes, but I think it's a good start. I cut out a little bit of a stairwell right there for the future. I hate gravel, and yeah, I think it's a good start. It's got a lot of texture and noise in it. I'd like to add maybe a couple of different blocks to kind of add some variation in there as well. But all in all, I can't really complain. Now comes the fun part of adding grass and leaves and whatnot, which I'm not going to do a time lapse for. I'm just going to do and bring y'all in when it's done because I don't think it'll take nearly as long. Well, it's been probably about an hour since the last clip, and I have done a wee bit of terraforming. I've got some grass and moss put down and some leaves. Got a little bit of like ivy looking thing climbing over here. Got some bushes. Probably could do a bit more. But all in all, I think this was a pretty successful terraforming project. I'm going to keep tinkering with it one block here, one block there until, it's how I completely like it. But for today, that's a lot of building. And I'm done. I want to go exploring some more. Do you know what we can do with these kind of items? For you seasoned Minecrafters, it's probably obvious. But for those of you who may not know, these are all tools that you need in order to conquer an ocean monument. And we have one right over here. So I'm going to set up a base camp and I'm going to try and kill the Elder Guardians, see if we can find some sponges, and see if we can get that ocean monument smithing template, because I think that's actually one that I want to use. And well, if we don't get it on this one, there are, let's see, we can use the map to kind of take a look. We've got one here, we've got one here, we've got one here. They're just everywhere. Like, oh my gosh. So, thanks to living in an ocean world, we're going to find this smithing template one way or another. The real question is, how many times are we gonna die? Super dramatic zoom. I'm trying to get used to being more narrative with my keys. Is it working? Is it working? I can't zoom in any further than that, otherwise I totally would. Alright, first to bed, then to kill the Elder Guardians. Okay. We've got our kit together. We've got a little base camp set up. Man, that's looking really nice from this angle. Definitely need to add a bit more on this side. That's looking good. It's cool. Anyway, focus Sithbelle. So I'm gonna take one of these. This is, you get mining fatigue. The Elder Guardian gives you mining fatigue. So I want to have a bucket of milk on there for when it's time to actually start exploring. And we have some spare water breathing potions. We have invisibility potion, which means we need to take off all of our armor. And now there is nothing left but to go in and try and kill this bad boy. Well, I think I see where one is. I don't have mining fatigue yet. Excellent. There it goes. Excellent. Smithing template? Smithing template? No. No smithing template. Okay. Onward and upward. A swiftness potion probably would have been good. Oh, hey, there's another one. Dang, no smithing templates. Okay, the third guy should be in here, I believe. Oh, yep, there he is. Come on. Oh, that hurts a lot. That hurts a lot. Okay, Thorns is just going to proc every time. I know that there's a way to tell when like his spikes are out or something. Okay, he's dead. Cool. No smithing template. Which means we at least get to do this at least one more time. I don't know if it'll necessarily be this ocean monument, but we are 100% making a farm, a guardian farm, because Prismarine is one of my all-time favorite blocks. Here, spongy, spongy, spongy. Spongy! Yes, okay, cool. And can I just say how happy I am that they made sponges mineable with a hoe? Yeah, we're gonna go to the one that's kind of close to our mob farm, because I think that's actually gonna be the one that we use for our farm. I did only make them 3 minutes. That was my bad. There we go. We got it! We so got it! That is such a big deal! Oh, and I am no longer invisible. Okay. So I did go ahead and kill the other two Elder Guardians because we're making a farm here and I wanted to see if I could get an extra smithing template. Oh, so you can still break blocks. It just takes a really long time. I thought you couldn't break blocks. Huh. Alright. Only took us 2 temples. And we were able to get what we came here for. That is so good. And we should have enough Prismarine to duplicate it as well. Outstanding. And I'm afraid that's going to have to do it for today. We've gotten a lot done. And it took quite a while to do, and this episode is getting pretty long. Next episode, I want to take on a bastion, and I'm debating between doing some Froglight stuff or creating an iron farm. I think the iron farm. I just hate working with villagers in that capacity and trying to find a zombie. It's gonna be a ride, but unlimited iron seems like a really good idea. I also reserve the right to change my mind and do something else instead. We'll see. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch y'all in the next episode. Goodbye!